The takeover has arrived here. The takeover is here on Inside Boxing Live. The takeover will be taking place June 19th, Miami on Triller. You know the name, Teofimo Lopez, 2020 Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year. Has many belts, many belts. And he's joining us here. Teofimo, what is good, my friend?
Oh man, I can't complain, man. Life is good, man, and I'm just excited, man. We are about 17 days away from going back in that ring and just entertaining for everybody, man.
Over my shoulder, I have your fight on with Lomachenko, and I can't believe this is the first time you're getting back into the ring. A guy that you were prided yourself on fighting, just every few months because that's the rise. That's when you come up the ranks, you stay active. So it must have been like a tough time for you not to get these fights, in between the Lomachenko win and now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been I've been itching to go back in the ring, man, since the Loma fight. I was training after getting surgery on my foot. I fought Lomachenko with a torn right my right foot. I had a torn ligament. But however, it's great to just be back, to have something scheduled, and fighting George Kambosos is my mandatory, and getting the ball rolling again.
Yeah, we'll get into that fight with Kambosos, who's talking a lot, and he's helping to sell this fight. I remember one time you told me that I can't wait to get back in the ring and punch somebody, because you get paid to punch somebody, and you're going to be getting paid pretty handsomely because it was one of the biggest purse bids of all time. It was definitely the most watched purse bid. I pulled over to the side of the road. That's how big it was to figure it all out. Did you understand how much fans were following it, and what was your initial reaction once you saw that Triller paid over $6 million for the fight?
It just goes to show, I'm a type of fighter that, I guess, or a person that likes to take risks, and I always am going to double down on myself. I'm always going to bet on myself, and it was astonishing to see a platform like Triller to go in there and put a bid on, of that magnitude of it, and just to shock everybody. They came in there without playing. I feel like they honestly doubled and tripled what Top Rank in the Zone had to offer. So it just goes to show, the sport of entertainment is back. Boxing is back in its roots, and just starting it off. I mean, just finding out yesterday what Jim Lampley said about myself and all those things. I mean, we're bringing back the guys that really know boxing, man. And I honestly, I can't thank Triller more than I can't thank them more than enough, man, to see what they're doing and how they're doing it. They're really one thing I could say, they're very ambitious, and they really want to let people know that they're here to stay, not just a temporary show.
You know what it is, man? It's like another chapter in your career. And I've spoke on this in the past. It's like in boxing, it's not like any other sport where you have teams and you have a schedule and you have a whole league behind you pushing each star. Fighters have to take it into their own hands. They have to find a way to break through. They have to find a way to connect with fans. And with you early on, it was the knockouts. And then it was getting that Lomachenko fight, or calling for the Lomachenko fight, beating Lomachenko. Now this purse bid, it's just all chapters, and it's all ways for fans to follow your career. And that's a really tough thing to do these days, is to get fans' attention, especially in boxing with how fragmented it is. But going back to quickly, Lomachenko, he finally did an interview on ESPN. I don't know if you caught this at their last card. And, he's no longer blaming us at CompuBox. He's no longer blaming this, that, and the other. He says now that he's watched it again, he found that the fight was a draw. He's not saying he won anymore. He's saying that the fight is a draw. And the reason that he's fighting Nakatani is because you fought him. What are your thoughts?
He's a fan, I turned him into a fan. I think that he's just someone that Lomachenko is just, he knows I beat him. That's really what it comes down to. He knows I took his heart. It's a difference, man. The championship rounds is what really matters the most. And in the last round, who really dominated that round was myself. We took over, and it's all about who wanted it more. Me and Lomachenko could fight 10 more times, and I'll beat him every time. The reason why is because him and I know, and he knows. When the going went tough, I went harder and he backed down. So, like I said, man, it's all about just staying composed at this moment and just beating whoever else is in front of me. Loma can say whatever he wants to say, but the reason why he's saying it's a draw because he was going to retire and he wanted to quit boxing after the fight. Oh, wow. And those are my insights, and I know that because, like I said, man, I have I have great connections with a lot of folks, especially up in the Ukraine, and they tell me all the intels and details.
So they
So,
said that Loma was going to retire.
oh yeah, he wanted to quit. He wanted to do all those things. He even thought about. He had suicidal thoughts at one point,
Oh, that's
which
not
is
good.
no. That's not a good thing, you know. But it's because of someone like him, you know, who doesn't lose, never honestly doesn't know the feeling of losing. And when he did lose in the amateurs, he beat the guy twice. You know, it's a whole different ball game. You know, a lot of folks thought that I was gonna fold under pressure, but when you take me to deep waters, I poison the water.
Yeah, you landed 50 punches in the 12th round. That's the most ever landed on Lomachenko in his career. How do you see that Nakatani? I don't want to talk too much about Loma, but how do you see that Nakatani fight playing out?
It's a good fight. One thing I can say with Lomachenko, he doesn't back down on the fight. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like he doesn't. Even when I knocked out Richard Coleman, he didn't even know what I did. You know,
Yeah.
he was shook. So I think that Loma, you got to give him his props. You know, a lot of folks don't want to call him out because you know he's still a top dog. He's still a live dog. You know, but for Nakatani, he ain't no pushover. You know, a lot of folks, you know, they don't understand. You know, that's the awkward, tall, long guy. However, you know, look what he did to the Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to mention his name due
We don't
to
have to say
certain
his name.
situations. Yeah, I know. So, you know, it's all those things, and look, you know, it's a solid fight, and I wish both of them success, man. And one thing they definitely do have in common, they lost to Teofimo.
Yeah, that's true. You can't debate that. You can debate a lot of things in boxing. You can't debate that one. Going back to Lampley, I just had him for an exclusive interview, and you know, he talked about a big reason why he wanted to come back is because obviously he misses calling fights, but an appealing thing for it was being able to call one of your fights. He mentioned you by name, you know, the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year, you know, all the belts on the line at 135 pounds. That must feel good, right? What does it mean to have Jim Lampley, a legend, calling your fights?
I looked up, I watched. I was, you know, obviously he's been in the game for 30 plus 40 years. You know, calling all different types of sports and mainly boxing. Just the root of it all. It just shows like the universe is in my corner, man. It's crazy, man. It's just great to have boxing, and I think, like I said, man, the boxing gods are with me. The boxing gods are with me, man. They see the passion and the love I have for the sport, and I am a true believer in the sport itself, not the financial funds of it all. You know, that comes, like I said, you know, that comes with success, and that comes as we keep beating the guys that we need to beat. However, just having Jim Lampley on now, and for him to give me that compliment, which it really goes to show. You know, I was getting worked on yesterday here in our training house, and you know, I had my team here and everything. And when they were reading it to me, I just couldn't believe it, man. I got goosebumps and everything. I was like, wow, from the man himself.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Jim Lampley and him calling these boxing events. You know, so it's great that not only will it be him, we have Michael Buffer announcing my fight. So it's like I feel like it's gonna be like 1990s all over again for me.
Sounds good to me.
Even though I was born in the late, you know, 97. I was born
Yeah.
97, but for
Wow.
me, that's what it's all about. It's the sport of the boxing, and just feeling like bringing it back to. If we may never have boxing this way it was before.
Yeah.
However, if we could just have the guys that were there, the guys that actually know boxing, you know, people are gonna listen and they're really gonna take that in.
No, definitely. It made a big wave. Lampley getting him on board. I mean, I've known him forever, doing work with CompuBox, and you bring up the 90s. That was like the best time going to fights when I was a kid. I know you were going to fights when you were a kid. I'm surprised you
Yeah,
don't have a picture with Lampley. You got a picture with every damn person when you were like 10 years
I
old.
know.
I'm
I
sure you'll
know.
get one though, June 19th weekend when he's in there. I don't know if you remember this. After Fury Wilder, we were hanging out at the hotel. You know, we're at the hotel bar, and you talked about how one day you want to get into broadcasting, and you maybe want to
Yes.
get, you know, do. Is that something you still want to do?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. You know, boxing. I told my wife, you know, boxing is always going to be in my life. It may not be in the fight game, but it will be whether coaching, it will be commentating, it will be all that. You know, because I love the sport. Boxing saved my life. You know, and all I can ever do is give my life to the sport as well, and drop those knowledge for the kids. You know, the new generation, and give them something that maybe I needed when I was younger. But
Definitely.
if I could get back to those I think that'll always pay tenfold.
So you can see yourself like calling fights, or you see yourself more like someone like a talking head doing like a podcast.
Man, all of the above. All
Yeah.
of the above. I just love talking about sports and I love talking about boxing. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a true believer. I'm a diehard fan about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about. You know, it's not about like I said, you know, a lot of these guys, they want to be Mayweather and everything, but in order to be Mayweather, you have to earn your stripes. You have to fight the guys that folks think that may be better than you know, and that's what we proved on October 17th of last year against Vasily Lomachenko, who arguably was the number one pound for pound at that time.
Right. Yeah. So now I'm gonna make believe you're a broadcaster now, and you gotta be like impartial. You can't just
Yeah,
say
you're
that.
gonna put me on the spot.
I am gonna put you on the spot. That's what I always do. Devin Haney fought last week. He could potentially be your mandatory. I know you want it. You want to be your mandatory. That's that. You guys are on a crash course. What did you think of his performance? Not just like, don't just, just say this, that, and the other. Like, honestly, like, what did you think of his performance?
See, that's the thing though. When I got to when I got to go see the fight, it was already over. So I can't really say.
Come
I
on,
know
man.
I
You're
missed
gonna
it.
be a
I missed
broadcaster. You got
it.
to watch the
I know
fights.
I gotta watch the fights, of course, but you know the dream puts me to sleep, man.
You did
You
put
know,
an
but
emoji out though. You put out the food. That was food, right? Is that what you meant?
yeah, of course, food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's food right there. I put that there. You know, I listened to my team, my father, my assistant coach Jorge Rubio, my training, my sparring partners, and everybody. They were telling me what was going down and how he looked and how he got clipped in the 10th and so on and so forth. Whatever came about. So you know, I think that he's a solidary fighter, someone that likes to use his jab a lot. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he's always touching the downstairs, trying to come up top. He showed between those rounds. If we want to talk about it, then I suppose that he showed between rounds that you know, he wanted to, from what I'm hearing, he wanted to stop Jorge Linares and everything. But however, you know, someone of that caliber like Linares, he's a 4-time world champion for a reason. He
Yeah.
has the experience and everything. He knows how to handle and weather the storm. You know, so it's a great win for Devin Haney. And I look forward to doing my show and doing my thing come June 19th so we can make that fight happen sometime later this year.
Yeah, it's another thing that we've talked about over the years is, having all your contemporaries win and look good. So it sets up big fights. And, you did your part. Ryan Garcia did his part when he beat Luke Campbell. Everyone's winning still, and they're all still climbing this ladder. Everyone wants to see you guys all fight. They want to see you fight Ryan Garcia. They want to see you fight Haney. They want to see you fight Tank one day. They all want to see that happen. But I thought Haney looked good. I mean, he spent 60% of the fight in close range, so that shows me he was willing to trade. He jabbed really well. He landed almost 7 jabs around. The power is just not there, but that's okay. Like, you can win fights in other ways. But the one thing that I think fans are going to remember, or it's going to stick with them now, is the final 2 rounds. Yes, he got clipped. Everyone gets clipped in fights, but I wanted to see him, if you agree with this, I wanted to see him respond with maybe a combination or some pushback, not just hold, some pushback. Like, I wanted to see that in those final 6 minutes. He didn't provide that, but he still won comfortably, in my opinion.
Every fighter is different. I think for himself, he's, very pleased and proud of himself that he went through some type of adversity. But there's a difference when you go through adversity. It's how you come back from it, and from what I'm hearing from you, Dan, you're pretty much telling me those 6 minutes, it wasn't as strong as a comeback. Those are the championship rounds. Those are the fights. Those are the rounds that really matter the most. That's why, 10 weeks, 11 weeks into camp right now, those last 2 rounds is like, man, I put all that work in. You got to go all out. And everybody's different. I think that he's satisfied and he's pleased with his performance. And that's the thing, man. You can't be. There's so much room to grow, and there's so many things that you can always draw back and work on. And that's what we're doing right now in our camp. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's good for Devin Haney. However, that's just the way how he performs, and apparently he got booed. He got booed in his own hometown.
I hate that.
In his own hometown. But the thing is that the fans want to see more excitement because they've been locked up. Everybody's been locked.
Yeah, they want to see knockouts.
If it's not knockouts, it's explosiveness of a tremendous amount of combinations in between those rounds. It's right there if you do get clipped, because we all get hit, right? If we get hit, it's all about how you respond. And I think as a fighter, you need to push more. Oh, you just hit me and I felt something. Well, I'm about to go and I'm gonna hit you 3 times harder and I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And that's the type of mentality you just have to have, man. I think that everyone is different though. And I look forward to making that fight happen. Hopefully.
I think a lot of guys at 135 watched that performance and they came away saying, I want a piece of him now. Is that the case with you? You want Haney next. You made that pretty clear. Could we see that next? Can we make that happen?
I wanted Haney a long time ago. I wanted Haney when they did that whole email belt and everything, how they sent it via email. He never earned it in the ring. You know, had Devin Haney earned it in the ring, absolutely, I would have been saying that I'm unified. I'm as real as it comes, you know,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I'm undisputed. He did not earn it in the ring the rightful way. And that's the thing, you know. So my whole thing is this. It's not, people need to stop focusing on me wanting to fight these guys. It's them wanting to fight me. There's a difference, you know. Like Bruce Champler,
Yeah, I was just gonna say I saw him tweet that.
like one of the best matchmakers, if not the best matchmakers in the game, in the sport of boxing. He knows I've never turned down a fight ever. And him and Brad Goodman have taken care of my career, and they've given me the fights that I had to take, and we'd never turn down a fight ever, ever. And so the whole thing is not, it's not about us that people need to worry about. Yes, we have all the belts and everything. However, these guys don't want to step up to the plate or take those chances. We did, you know, and look, it's paying tenfold. I'm probably gonna make walk out of here with $8 million, you know, and I'm thankful for it. But why? Because I took the risk.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, if you had a tough road to get there between Nakatani, which that fight, I think that win is
Which makes me laugh because they say that Devin Haney's the highest paid in my division, but people don't know. I'd rather keep it that way, though. Yes, Devin Haney's the highest paid. Let's keep it that way because at the end, it's not about, you know, I don't want people to know that I make X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, I like to keep it simple. You know, I don't want to look over my shoulder and expect somebody to come and try to do something.
Well, that's a big reason. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. But that's a big reason why Haney, I feel like, opens himself up for a lot of criticisms is because, you know, he signed that big deal with Hearn and, you know, he was his own promoter. There was a lot of hype around him. So when you have a lot of hype and there's some question marks at the end of a fight, I mean, it's warranted. It's you guys get paid a lot of money. Along with it comes a little bit of criticism. But let's move on.
At the end of the day, don't believe your own hype.
That's the thing.
That's all it is, man. At the end is the takeover. We taking over Miami come June 19th.
Oh, I'm wearing my Miami shirt. What do you think? I figured Miami. I don't know if I can make it there because I got to work.
I'm going to Miami.
There you go.
Welcome to Miami.
You need Will Smith to walk you out.
I know, right? We do.
You always plan something, whether it's before or after. You got something in the works?
You know me, Dan. Of course, always, man. It's all about everything that I do, man. I call it out to the law of attraction, to the universe, man. I thank God every day that I get. You know, it's a blessing today, man. You and I both are blessed right now, just talking about the sport and just being here today, man. That's a blessing in itself.
Absolutely, man.
You know,
another day alive.
Another day alive, man. So tomorrow's never promised. So my whole thing is all about, you know, just giving back to the people, giving back to everyone. You know, on Juneteenth Day, pretty much. You know, Freedom Day, which is phenomenal, man. And I'm pleased and I'm thankful to even be on there and display my talent and my skill level to the world.
And to a much lesser degree, it's my 34th birthday. I'm getting old.
34th?
On June 19th.
Man, you're still young. You're still young, man.
But let's talk about George Kambosos. He's talking a lot. He's certainly doing his part in terms of, you know, promoting the fight by talking a lot. I mean, he's saying a lot of things, man. He's saying that he's more Brooklyn than you. I was like, whoa. He's, you know, saying that you're not undisputed, this, that, and the other. He said Lomachenko, you know, if he would have threw punches early on, he would have beat you. He's talking a lot.
The thing is that people don't understand. I mean, he'll get at least a little bit of it come fight night. You know, Lomachenko himself, he knew it wasn't just the power, it was the speed, but it's also the ring IQ. We call it freeze. Me and my father call it freeze. We freeze a fighter from doing everything that they want to do. You know what I mean? And even with the magnitude of that fight, we didn't have no fans. You know, so it's a lot different. Now we're gonna have 30 to 37,000 fans in attendance. I'm all about the fans and I'm all about the energy. You know, at the end of the day, that's my element. And you know, when it comes to it, man, you know, George Kambosos could say whatever he wants and he could talk all he can and try to promote the fight because they're telling him to. At the end of the day, it speaks for itself. Teofimo is the best fighter, not only in the lightweight division, but in the world. And I'll be able to showcase that June 19th. He'll get a little taste of it. It won't last long, but he'll get a little taste of it, of what Lomachenko felt. It wasn't just the power. It was just, it's a whole other demeanor going in there. They could have a game plan. They could have this. They could have that. at the end of the day, we both are doing the same thing. We're training for one fighter only, and that's Teofimo. I'm doing the same thing. I'm training to beat myself. That is it. At the end of the day, I'm training to see what I could bring to the table. Not focus on Kambosos, not focus on Devin Haney, but on myself. Because at the end of the day, the only man that could beat me is myself.
Let me ask you this. Let's pretend you're a broadcaster once again. What does George Kambosos do in the ring that is good?
George Kambosos Jr., he's 19-0, 10 knockouts. Someone that definitely is elusive, likes to bring the fight, come forward, uses his jab a lot. However, he looks for those short shots in the inside. He's the type of fighter that needs to have a body in front of him at all times to let off those same punches. And is someone that definitely has that grit. Someone that definitely wants to show that he's here to stay, just like myself. However, George Kambosos Jr., he's undefeated for a reason. He fought his way to become a mandatory, and it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great show. And like I said, man, it's one that people cannot miss, man. We're not here just to promote the fight, but we're here to let everybody know, this is a new upcoming fighter that's on the rise. Just like you got the young guy that's trying to make a name, and you got the other guy that's trying to stay. So it's a great fight.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a good one. There's a lot of buzz around the fight now. The Lampley element is some good added buzz. Fans, Miami, Triller. A lot of fans want to see, and the media want to see how the broadcast looks coming off of the last one. And we know it's not going to look like that one. What'd you make of that? And you're going to be fighting now. Snoop's involved. This Triller platform is going to be a concert. I feel like it goes hand in hand with you.
It really does. I think that it's a phenomenal situation here. Where I'm at. I'm very thankful. That they see not just a fighter, they see an entertainer. That's a big difference. Floyd was a fighter, but he was an entertainer. Mike Tyson, a monster, but an entertainer. Muhammad Ali, those guys, man. And look what they have done for the sport of boxing in itself. Now you have a young Latin fighter that's coming into the rise, who was born in Brooklyn, New York, descendants of Hispanics of Honduras and Spain. So it's just great, man, to come out there and just do what I can do for the sport. Bring it back to that excitement that we need. I'm not a fighter, I'm not a brawler, I'm not a boxer, I'm an entertainer at the end of the day. And Triller was able to see that. They put the money in there, and they know I'm a stock, man. I'm a stock. And at the end of the day, they know that they're gonna win tenfold on that. They're gonna double, triple their money come after June 19th. Because they see the rise, they see the potential in Teofimo. And I'm very pleased and thankful that there's someone out there that's able to see that. I bring something into the table, and that's that eye candy. Just like those championship belts around my waist and my hands. It's the same thing, man.
Do you get does that bother you when they say you're not undisputed?
It's not that. Look, my whole thing is that those are the folks that it's about 80% of them believe I am, and they know I am, that I am undisputed. That's that 20%. You're always gonna have the haters, and those that want to keep going and keep going. After I beat Devin Haney, they're gonna say, well, you have to fight Gervonta Davis because he's the WBA interim world champion in your division. So you're telling me I got to go down 2 levels to fight Gervonta Davis. Yeah. These are casual fans that don't know the sport of boxing. These are folks that look at YouTube fighters and see them fight and think that they're the best fighters in the game. So at the end of the day, I could care less about that group. They don't know shit about boxing.
Yeah. Just like Roger said.
Just like Roger Mayweather said, may he rest in peace. It was just that.
You know what it is, man? It's like Mauricio Suleiman. I know you posted that video of him saying that you're undisputed. They just put fans, they put media, they put fighters in a bad spot.
My thing is this, though, Dan. I worked my ass off 18, 19 years, sacrificing. Didn't go to nightclubs, didn't go and explore with X amount of women and stuff, even though I did. I enjoyed it. I had lived my life,
Yep.
Went to strip clubs at the age of 13 years old. So from that age gap and everything, I got to live my life. However, I knew there were sacrifices I had to make. There was times on the weekends that I didn't go and see friends, because I had to stay working. And look, it paid off, But the thing is that people don't understand is that I am undisputed. I'm in the record books. I'm in history. Don't get it ever fucked up. Don't ever get it twisted. Come at me when they're doing something. When you're doing something with your life and you've accomplished something that big, then you could come at me and I could take it in. So then whatever they say and however they say it, they're just mad that they see a young kid, 23 years young, already in the history books. I could retire tomorrow and make it in the Hall of Fame. because of the roots of what we did. I am the youngest 4-belt era champion, right? At 23 years young. I think the next one is 27.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, the only one to ever do it in the lightweight division. So yeah, it's not that it bothers me. It's just like it's the same thing over again.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
So it's the same thing. I earned it, and folks want to find a way not to say that I didn't.
Right.
So this is just and at the end of the day, it just goes to show that I don't care. They're still talking about Teofimo Lopez. They're still bringing him up, regardless of what the matter is. Dude. And hey, until people stop talking about me, I'm not gonna worry.
That's what I just touched on at the beginning of the interview. If they're talking, it's so hard to get boxing fans' attention and keep it because there's so many fights. It's so fragmented. Like, if people are going to sit there and discuss whether you're undisputed or not, let it be, because that's just going to make the fight with Haney even bigger. It's going to keep making your fights even bigger down the line. Let's say, okay, June 19th, final bell rings. Let's say you win. You did your backflip. Will Smith's in the ring with you. 140 pounds. It's something you've been flirting with for a long time. Josh Taylor has come out and said that you're not undisputed. He's come out and said that. He looked phenomenal in his win over Jose Ramirez. I know you've made it no secret that that's something also that you want to do to continue making history, is to jump up to 140. And now Josh Taylor's there. He's on the Top Rank. I know you're going to still potentially work with Top Rank. That's a fight that could be made. Is that something that you're looking for next?
Of course, Dan. I'm not gonna duck or dodge anybody, man. I like to go for those fights, and my short-term goal, honestly, it's a short-term goal, is to become a 2-time undisputed champion back to back. This is my Jordan year, and we'll be going into my Kobe year at the end of July. So I'm very thankful and pleased to be here today, man. Josh Taylor was calling me out before. He was like, yeah, I want Teofimo and this and that, and it'll be a great fight. But now, he's saying that I'm not undisputed because his team is telling him that, and because they want to avoid that. They have their mandatory right now. They got to deal with what's his name, Catterall.
Yeah, Catterall.
Jack Catterall. So it's like, but folks don't understand that. There's past interviews of him talking about me, and now he's just, I'm getting better. And I think that they feel that. It's all about that, that energy I bring to the table.
That'll be a great fight, though.
It'll be a great fight. It'll be a phenomenal fight because I'll actually be in my weight. I'll be comfortable enough to be I'm not comfortable now, but I'll be right now. I'm stopping my potential as a fighter. I'm shortening that part because there's all these young guys that were so lighter then coming up to my division now. When I already outgrew this division. 140 will be where I'm mostly comfortable at, and people will get to see my full arsenal, because you'll get to see everything, and I'll be more pleased, man. But the thing is, I think they know that. Look, with Teofimo, you can't worry about one thing. You have to worry about a lot of things. My speed, my power, my ring IQ, my footwork, my inside work, my back, and I can fight backwards. That's a lot of things that they have to worry about. There's so many elusive things, and I can go southpaw. So there's just so many things that I've been working on.
When's the last time you went southpaw? I got to see that. Pull that out on June 19th.
The last time I went southpaw, I believe. Oh, I'll pull that out for sure. You guys will definitely be able to see that.
What about the behind the back punch?
Behind the back punch? Yeah, like I did on Diego Magdaleno.
Yes.
I don't think anybody has ever seen that before. We've seen it with Pernell Whitaker. He'll grab somebody and hit him behind the head. But when you're turning and going around in that angle and hitting them behind, those are things that I just think about, man. And I work on in the gym, in sparring and hitting the bag and all that. I work on little short things. Right now, we're just sharpening that blade, that samurai sword. Right now, I'm just sharpening it, just ready to decapitate George Kambosos. And honestly, just have his tongue stick out, put it on a spike and collect another head and on to the next. I already have a whole line of heads that I decapitated. Lomachenko, it was sweet, just putting it right there on there and just saying, yeah, whatever y'all thought he was, a god in the sport of boxing, ain't no god. There's only one god. It ain't Teofimo. It's only one up there. So that ain't a god. Take his head off, boom. Right now, all I'm doing is just slaying these demons, bro. I'm just slaying them. And I can't wait.
Yeah, man. It's one thing that we can't deny is that you have a lot of big fights ahead of you. George Kambosos, June 19th.
I'm gonna make a lot of money in this game.
Yeah, you are, my friend. You got Kambosos.
But at the end, it's more than that. It's about giving back.
Yeah.
giving back to the youth, giving back to the new generation, and kind of letting everybody know, just like Triller, you do you. It's the same thing. It applies. Everybody do your own thing. Don't have to follow nobody. Be a leader. We need more leaders in this world. We can't be having too many followers. All right. We've seen it all, but I'm creating my own wave, and sometimes people don't like it because they know it's something that is different, and people just got to get out their comfort zone. But yeah, George Kambosos, June 19th. It'll be on Fight TV, pay-per-view. If you guys can't make it to the event, it'll be, but if you guys can, tickets are on sale right now on TrillerFightClub.com. You guys could definitely tune in, buy it. It's the stadium tickets at the Marlins ballpark. It's gonna be phenomenal, man. It's one show that you guys cannot miss, man. It's gonna be entertaining. We're gonna have we're gonna have dances, fireworks. I mean, it's my ring entrance alone is gonna be the one that seals the deal. Wow. And it's great to have a platform like Triller and Ryan Calvinow, who is phenomenal when it comes to these ideas, and me being able to throw in my ideas and him being like, that is freaking amazing. Let's do it. That's what it's all about. It's about giving back to everybody. And I'm just very thankful to be here today.
All right. Before we let you go, Teofimo, did you ever think when you were like 10, 11 years old, like right now, this spot you are in your career, only 23 years old, about to embark on some huge fights, big purse bids, the whole nine, you got your beautiful wife. Is this like what you imagined?
We all know, man. Everything turned out to be the way it did. I think that my life is already written in stone, and I'm just going through my chapters one by one. At that age, man, 12 years old, I was just still trying to make a name for myself, just doing what I got to do. And I think to this day, I still am. I still am. I'm not at that point yet. I'm just scratching the surface. I'm just scratching the surface right now, and I can't wait, man. I still have a name to make for myself, and I have a legacy to hold on to. This is something that I'm standing for. I'm standing for the rightful things. If I don't stand for something, then I fall for anything. So at the end of it all, man, it's all about just doing it the right way, doing it my way, like Frank Sinatra.
There you go. That's my guy.
That is, man. And New York, man. Look, at the end of it all, man, you can see at the end, I think that all these fighters, all the guys that I'm facing, they all somehow, some way are a fan of me. Kambosos, I'm already in his head as much as possible, honestly. He probably wakes up in the middle of the night having nightmares because of me knocking him out. And why? He's wearing Brooklyn and wearing those shirts and trying to say he's more Brooklyn than I am and everything. But when the going gets tough, he's going to go pussycat, and those are the things that it's going to show, I said it before that it won't go past 3, but, I've been wanting to fight so bad, man. I feel like, I'm a lion in the cage and people been hitting me with sticks and they know I can't attack them. But June 19th, that's when the lion gets to come out, and I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat so hard, man. I'm going to eat, man, and I'm going to take this guy's head off.
There it is. Love that. June 19th, Triller pay-per-view. Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos. Can't wait. Let's do it.